الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه ومن تبعهم بإحسان يوم الدين. Today we are blessed and pleased and honored to have Brother Osama Jamal, who is the Secretary General at the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations. Brother Osama has been working for the Islamic Dawa for not only years but decades. I've known him for more than 40 years, to the point that I have his number stored in my phone with all capital letters, because that was the only possible way to save contacts in the early generations of the cell phones. Brother Osama is an Islamic activist, Dawa leader, also unifying leader among the Muslim community, as well as interfaith and in many other fields. Brother Osama is a great public speaker. I've listened to him in many conferences of MAS and ICNA and ISNA and others. And I really had the pleasure to serve with him in many Islamic projects in the past. And today we have a wealth of Dawah knowledge and experience presented by our dear brother Osama Jamal. I know that he wants to focus more on the council, but I would like him also to speak in general, in a broader term, about the Dawah fields, based on the title of today's session, A Spectrum of Islamic Dawah in the United States of America. Brother Osama Jamal, please go ahead.
Thank you, Brother Majdi. Jazakallah here. I don't know if I deserve all that introduction, but one thing that is for sure, I was very pleased and to have a Brother Majdi as a very good friend since the time of college time, when we were at the High State University. It was wonderful memories, and those are the years of our early activism and, in America when we were students at the time. Thank you, Brother Majdi, for the wonderful opportunity to meet with other Muslim brothers and sisters and to share some of the thoughts that we all know, but probably will give a little bit of maybe a different perspective on the subject of Islam and Muslims in America, especially, in the field that we, as activists, that we go beyond our daily rituals and practices of Islam, but we try to manage something a little bit sometimes bigger than ourselves. So thank you for this opportunity, and I'm very glad to be with you here today. First of all, how much time we have so that I pace it accordingly?
We have 50 minutes, inshallah. I would like to finish by 12:25, and then we'll allow 5 minutes for questions and answers at the end, inshallah.
You mean 12:25, right?
12:25, correct.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is a long time, but I don't think I want to bore everybody with so much talk. I'll try to be concise and give some kind of perspective, and probably will leave the majority of the time for questions and answers, because that probably can help share information that people may be more interested than whatever I present. Okay, so as you all know, we are the generation who were here during the 80s, early to mid 80s. We were a generation who came from different part of the Arab world in particular, and of course there were other people coming from the Muslim world. But this was during the peace scholarships that given to Egypt. After the peace treaty between Israel and Egypt, there were quite a bit of influx of students coming from Iraq. At that time, it was permissible, and students come, from Iraq to study in the U.S., from Libya, Saudi Arabia, of course, Kuwait, many different countries, and even just a few years after that. It was the Hariri Foundation gave a lot of scholarship to Lebanese students. So there were quite a bit of influx of students coming from the Arab countries. And you can see it from all over the United States and different universities. And So there was, I could say, a student-driven activism, especially coming to the United States, a new world, and new opportunities. The country is quite open. You feel so free to do whatever you want. Organize activities, camps, lectures. Student life was certainly game changer for us because it gave us that kind of energy, that kind of encouragement to engage, to present, and of course, those of our time remember the Ahmed Didat, debates that usually go on campus. There was that kind of a drive for us as Muslims to share our faith with others, as well as it was the beginning of the Palestinian Intifada in Palestine. So that also gave another dimension of activism. And unfortunately, the Israeli-Arab conflict always fueled student activism on campuses long time ago, not just now because of Gaza. So that continuous momentum of activism has carried the Muslim community as it was establishing itself more and more in the United States. Definitely, there were Muslims in the United States before the students coming, and especially African American. That's a history. It requires a lecture by itself to talk about it, and probably with more knowledgeable people to talk about the presence of Islam and Muslims in America, especially with our African American brothers and sisters who paved the way for us to come to enjoy civil rights, to speak loudly as Muslims. They've been before us, and they took the brunt of the challenges as they were, establishing themselves or being forced to come to this country and then, suffering a big deal of discrimination, unfortunately. So yes, there were some communities there, but the presence of Islam and Muslims really start to shape up and take much more presence and awareness. Actually, with the student waves that came, and many of us remained in the United States, and because of that, and during the student life, we established those conferences, conventions later on, because the students during, let's say, Christmas breaks, it's a quite a bit of a long time. And where would students go? They have nowhere to go. Not everybody will go back home to spend that vacation with their families. So we stay in the U.S. and in order to give some kind of gathering platform, the convention idea started to come, early on in the late 70s, and then became, a go-to event during the breaks, especially the Christmas break, for students. And ever since until today, the convention, which started as Maya at the time, now it is Mass Convention during the Christmas, because of this opportune time when people are not in college, people are taking a break from their work. So we established that. And then, of course, there were other conventions like the ISNA conventions, and then other organizations, they had their own convention. Collectively, those became the reuniting, or you can say reunion of students and families, that they come together and see each other after we all finished our schools and colleges and we graduated, and many of us got jobs in different states. So the convention was a great, opportunity to bring everybody together and see each other and remember those good old days of college and so on. Of course, with that, local masajid start to emerge, not as like a store that you buy or rent and make it a masjid, or there were some churches that were for sale and people bought. But now start to build masajid from ground up, and that takes into Islamic, you know, structure and architect. So the image of Islam and Muslims start to become a little bit more vivid, a little bit more clear and obvious in the American society. And major cities start to have those masajid and to start to grow. And throughout these years, many events happened that brought the Muslim community to a higher level of activism. We remember the Kosovo, the Bosnia, unfortunately genocide, if you call those times, and then Afghanistan was always, even at the time of Reagan, when he supported the Afghan Mujahideen against the Russian invasion, and then later on, you know, the Somalia, then Iraq, Palestine is always there. So the Muslim community never took a break from major events in Muslim countries that forced them to be involved and engaged. And that what differentiate us from other communities. The German community, you know, during World War II, you know, they had some issues, but after that, everything settled. You know, you don't hear about it anymore. The Japanese, they had some major pushback and discrimination with the concentration camps that they had, at one time. But their case is over. Italians with the mafia, you know, the stereotype about Italians, it's over with. Even the Irish, the drunken Irish, you know, every community went through some kind of tough times, but it was over for them. Unfortunately, the Muslim community, we never had, you know, it is a continuous eruption and inclusion of different issues and disasters, unfortunately. Yemen, Iraq, Libya, Sudan, Lebanon, Palestinian, as I said, it never stopped. All these countries, that is a drainage also for the Muslim community. Drainage of our resources, a drainage of our attention, drainage of our political involvement, because you're spending so much money on relief efforts. We probably have now relief organization as many as masajid we have, because every day there's a new crisis, and then you have to, to support. And so this is a major economic and financial burden the Muslim American community go through on a daily basis, that takes away from building and strengthening its infrastructure, if you will. Societal and civic infrastructure has been greatly affected by the crises in the Middle East and the Muslim world that drifted our funding to these humanitarian assistance. So that's one of the major challenges for Muslim American, that we were not able to invest enough in our civic engagement infrastructure that connect us with American institutions and organizations, and politically be able to spend more time and money on grooming and preparing and introducing candidates who serve their country and their communities and their cities and states that can showcase Muslim contribution to America. Alhamdulillah, we have a good, especially lately, we start to have more and more Muslim American involved in political activities and engagement. But definitely, we've been greatly affected by a big chunk of our money goes overseas to help those catastrophes and war-torn areas around the Muslim world and the Arab countries. So that's in general. We're speaking about it, and Alhamdulillah, we many community has been thriving and building strong communities. Now we have many cities that see and undergoes boom of Muslim presence and impact. Dallas is one of those, and of course in Florida, in Wisconsin, in Minnesota, in of course Chicago. Those are the all-time cities that have big a Muslim community. New York, California, but I'm talking about the other state that really has booming of Muslim community presence. So that's alhamdulillah. There's quite a bit of growth. Now, this growth inspired us in 2010 at the Massacre Convention to think about, I thought to myself, I grew up in those conventions. Truly almost 40 years, 40 conventions I have attended and participated and contributed in one way or the other, volunteering from bringing chairs and guiding traffics to managing and organizing, those conventions. I really, myself and my family grew up in the convention times. So in 2010, I noticed that we have all the leadership come to the convention. Everybody speak, and then everybody go home. And there is nothing really given to the Muslim community in terms of direction, in terms of an agenda, in terms of a strategy, where we go from here. And I did notice that we have quite a bit of growth now. But this growth, if not managed, just like weeds, all over the place, and you can't control it. So we need to have a productive growth, a growth with a vision, a growth with a strategy that strengthens, protects Muslim, is still in this country. Alhamdulillah, it's a great country. But from time to time, you see those waves of discrimination, of hate groups that they emerge here and there. You need to have a strong community who can stand up, speak for itself, defend itself, and be able to engage in a positive way. So we called for a meeting for the major national organization. We said, okay, we come to these conventions, we speak, we talk, people get excited, and then we go home, and there is nothing really after that. And there is no representation of Muslims. There's so much happening, and we don't see anybody who can, their leadership could come together, discuss about something, and be able to take a unified position that can help us look united instead of everybody being on a different wavelength. So they agreed, and we had a meeting in 2010. The idea was, welcomed. And then not much happened. At that time, the Arab Spring started to fertilize. Subhanallah, the timing was divine timing, and we never thought of that. And then in 2011, we reconvened at the convention, and we assessed, where is that idea, and we decided to continue with the idea. And then ever since, we start to have for the next 3 consecutive years retreats in Washington, D.C. with the major national organizations, discussing how we can establish a body that brings us together, at least for the purpose of coordinating our activities, coordinating our position, unifying our collective wisdom to be utilized for the benefit of our community. And also to have some kind of representation that speaks on at least the majority of Muslim Americans. And so over these 3 years, alhamdulillah, we had great times of discussing all aspects of the Muslim community. We did SWOT analysis, we did, all kind of, discussions. And in 2013, we concluded that we will establish what we call it today, the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations, abbreviated USCMO. And,
so, Brother Osama,
yes.
what other organizations, what are the Muslim
Yes.
organizations that
Thank
actually
you.
got together? You mentioned that leaders got together. Leaders of which organizations?
Right.
Just for
Thank
the
you.
audience to be clear about that. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. That's very good, and I'm coming to that. The council, when it was established, of course, we have invited everybody, ISNA included, but we had like AMP, American Muslim for Palestine, CARE, ICNA, MANA. MANA is our African American organization that it's in its membership and leadership is Imam Siraj Wahaj, Imam Zaid Shakir, Dr. Hassan Bagbi, and so many of them. So that's MANA. And then we had MAS, of course, MLFA, MUNA. I don't know how many of you know MUNA. MUNA is Muslim Ummah of North America, predominantly Bengali brothers and sisters. They are just like MAS and ICNA. They have chapters around the country, as well as Ministry of Imam Mu'tadim Muhammad. And I must mention that they have been great. They have been with us in the early discussion of the council at the time we established the council, formed it legally, until today. They have been active participant. I'm talking about the Imam Mu'tadim Muhammad. They call themselves the Mosque-based TMC. They have been with us all along, and I'm very grateful for their engagement and continuous presence, because our African American brothers and sisters, I'll come to that later, is an essential and main element of the Muslim community, the Muslim American community in America. So, and then we had ISNA as well, and so those are the organizations when we met together. And at the end, ISNA decided not.
Can you repeat them again with the abbreviation as well as the long name, so the audience will be fully aware of that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We had American Muslim for Palestine, AMP, and we had Council on American Islamic Relations, which is CARE. And then we had ICNA, Islamic Circle of North America. And then we had MANA, Muslim Alliance in North America, or for North America, MANA. And then, of course, Muslim American Society, MAS. And then we have Muslim Legal Fund of America, MLFA. And then we have MUNA, Muslim Ummah of North America. And then we have Ministry of Imam Mu'tadim Muhammad, the Mosque-based TMC. Those are the 8, we call them the 8 founding members. Those are the organizations been in the discussion, remained in the discussion. ISNA, Islamic Society of North America, was with us at the discussion, but they did not want to form that council. They wanted, they thought that they are the one who represent everybody, which of course we have a disagreement on that. And so they decided not to join at the time. And so the 8 remaining organizations became the founding member of the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations. And those are the ones who formed the council and registered in the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. In 2013 was the official registration and at that time. So these are the organization, and that's the date and the time that we formed it. And after that, we thought to expand the council, because now to have a council that represents the Muslim community, you need, other Muslim organizations who are effective and impactful in their communities. And so the decision was local councils do represent the local big cities of, like, for instance, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and so many other cities. They do have local councils, and these local councils bring their local organizations along. And so those are our also eligible members to join USCMO. So we, amended the bylaws to include those local councils to be part of the board of directors of the council. And so the Islamic Shura Council of Southern California joined us. The Islamic Leadership Council of New York, the Council of Islamic Organization of Chicago, Greater Chicago, joined. Arizona Muslim Alliance, they joined us. The Muslim Forum of the North Pacific Council, which represents the states of Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, Alaska, they have a council, so they also join us. And then we have the Islamic Council of New England that joined us. And we are also in the process of having Florida, inshallah, to join us. There's another one in Milwaukee to join us. I'm still waiting for the Dallas group to join us, and many other potential councils, inshallah, to join the USCMO. So that makes the U.S. Council now. The founding members, we call them now trustees, and then any national organization or local councils, they become, if they join, they become part of the board of directors, because their impact on their community, then they should be part of the council's board. And we also have the Islamic Islamic Association of North America, IANA, which is the Somali community, also part of the USCMO board now. And we have other also organization, MSA National. We have the Islamic Circle of North America Council for Social Justice is part of it. Young Muslim Inc., National Youth Organization, also part of the council now, and its board. Any national organization, they became part of the board, as well as local organization like Masajid. We have several Masajid. Many Masajid are members of USCMO, but they are as a members, not on the board of USCMO. And even if their local council is member of the council, they can also join us. So we have that kind of membership.
Got it. So the board of trustees are the initial founding members in the national organization, AMP, ICNA, MAS, MANA, CARE, etc. But then the national organizations who joined later, they became part of the board of directors, not the trustees.
Right. And the difference between the two, there is not much difference except in the three areas. Approval and and canceling membership is in the hands of the trustees only. Mm-hmm. So if we have a new membership, then the approval has to come from the trustees only.
Okay.
And the other thing is, if there is any, and the quorum of the board must have the majority of the trustees. Mm-hmm. So, and that's for us to have a legal form, legal quorum of the meeting. And the third one is actually divided by the two, and that is the change of the bylaws must be between the board of directors and the trustees. The trustees cannot have it alone, and the board of directors cannot have it alone. Both, they have to agree on the changes to the bylaw.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. And so, and with the formation of this council, alhamdulillah, membership start to come in. We are now about 54 organizations, and we have applications coming in. And inshallah, we will be having even more of a campaign to have more member organizations. And of course, the beauty of the council that has truly a cross-sectional representation of the community. We have relief organizations, we have Beit al-Mal, we have Mercy Without Limits, we have UMR, UHR, we have ICNA Relief, we have Helping Hand, we have Pious Projects, we have BESMA. I mean, mashallah, we have quite a bit of the relief organization member of USCMO. And as I said, we are black and white, we are Arab and non-Arab, we are Somalis, Bengalis, Rohingyas. We have truly, membership from all these communities, from all these backgrounds, and specialty. We have civil rights, we have grassroots, we have legal rights, we have a youth organization, we have councils, we have truly representation of skills, of specialties, of ethnic background, geographical location. Alhamdulillah, and that what gives the USCMO a power of representation. And we can claim that at least we have, we could reach the community from different, we cannot claim the entire community, but we can say the majority of the community we probably do represent. And we would love to have more and more, inshallah, to be part of it.
So brother Usama, I did not see any of the relief organizations being a member of the council. Is there a reason for that, or relief organizations like Islamic Relief or United Muslim Relief or
Oh no, we have, yeah, United, yeah, UMR is part of USCMO, UHR, as I said, Helping Hand, ICNA, Mercy Without Limits, many relief organizations are with us. The Islamic Relief, not yet, but inshallah, they would be soon, also member, but they are not member at this point.
Another question from Sister Jannah saying that should all neo-Muslims organization join, and what are the top 3 benefits of this membership?
Okay, the membership, is open for everyone. We would love to see every member organization to become member of USCMO. Of course, we do due diligence in checking the background, and we vet every organization to make sure that each organization is legitimate, it has a board, it is connected with its communities, because it is easy for 3-4 people, in America, a husband and wife, they can make an organization and, and they claim it's a national organization. So we do take a due diligence in, verifications and vetting organizations to make sure that they are, legit, as well as representative, and also that they have something to offer and add to the Muslim community. So the door is always open, and we encourage everybody to apply and become member of USCMO.
So another question is that you did mention that you do the due diligence, for instance, to prevent non-legitimate organizations, organization formed by 2 brothers or husband and wife, etc. Do you require the status of non-profit 501c3 for organization to join, which is really
yes.
It's a legal status that's it takes a lot of time to obtain. Yes, go ahead.
They have to have in the application form. It says if they are 501c3 organization, and it asks if they have a tax exempt status. Those are part of the application that they have to check that they do have these accreditations, if you will, from their state and from the federal. We do require that they have to have those status.
Okay, the follow-up question to Sister Jannah also is what are the top 3 benefits that for the organization or for any organization, any Islamic organization to join your council? What are the top 3 benefits?
Absolutely, and good question. The very first benefit of that is answering the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and being an obedient leadership that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. The biggest benefit, alhamdulillah, we have answered Allah when we found a way to bring unity to Muslims. We were the first to answer the call and join. So that is number 1. And to me, that's my drive. That's what really got us to know that we have an obligation as claimed leadership to show up and this kind of leadership and bring unity to the Muslim, because it is always our dream. It is always our destiny and our fate. We have to be united. Otherwise, we have seen the division, what it does to our ummah and how we became weak and we've been easily attacked, fragmented, and created a lot of commotion within the Muslim community. So unity is number 1, and so that's we serve and we gain that by joining the council. Number 2, of course, the benefit of collective wisdom.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala wa man tabi'a bi ihsan ila yawm al-din. Inshallah nibda. Sorry about that.
Yes.
Sorry about that, brothers. Go ahead.
Yes. And so inshallah ta'ala, the other benefit is, as I said, the collective wisdom of the leadership of the group, because when you are part of the group, then We listen to feedback, we listen to interest of the Muslim community, and so in those meetings we take into consideration the benefit and the needs of the Muslim community. Attending our national leadership conferences. This is one of the main benefit, that because it's a platform that leadership are given the opportunity to come participate, share, listen, propose, these kind of things. And of course, we have the National Muslim Advocacy Day on Capitol Hill, which I will come to those major projects of the USCMO. What do we do at USCMO? And one of the also major benefit, we are not, we're not a company that distribute profits at the end of the year. We are an organization that bring in more numbers to our council, gives more power to the entire community. So when we speak with government, when we speak with a civil organization or interfaith or media or anybody, national or international, our large number will give power to the Muslim community. So, we always tell people we don't have dividend at the end of the year that we distribute, but our biggest dividend is the strength of the Muslim community and the power of the Muslim community, because we have to be active, and activism needs collective. In America, it is either money or numbers. And so we don't have much money, we don't have much number. So we have to work on both of them. Our number is essential in this country, and we see the NAACP, how African Americans, how the Jewish community, how the Latino, you have to bring a big organization that represents your community, so that you will be able to push your agenda, to be listened to when you speak, and to leverage your representation into the rights and the fair share of your community in the larger society. So that's why we think, it is more of our collective benefit. We don't, this is a call that we have to do. And so, but of course, we do have those conferences, workshops, sometimes training that we have. And every year we're trying to enhance and increase more of the benefits to the members. But to be honest with you, our membership fees, let's talk about financial a little bit here. Our membership is $1,000 a year, okay? So with 54 organizations, assuming that each and every one is paying their $1,000, that's only $50,000. So that doesn't give you anything that you can offer back to the organizations in terms of anything, because really requires much more than that. You need to hire people, you need to have a space, you need to spend on activities. And at the same time, as I said, we've been drained by relief efforts and the crises overseas. So you cannot compete with an organization who stands in the masjid. They have orphans to feed, who have refugees to shelter, who have war-torn zones that they need to feed people, and then you tell them, I want to do fundraising to civil society. We need to be powerful in this country. In this country, we need to hire people to do these things. We are emotional, so people will go with the disasters, with with orphans. And also, if you have a message to build, and then you tell them, I need to have an office in Washington, D.C., for instance, to represent Muslim community, people, they will say, I want to build a house in Jannah. They don't know that your house in Jannah, through this masjid, if you don't protect it, you're not going to have it. You're going to waste the money. If laws and legislation come to determine or to limit or even to revoke, or even to confiscate your property, God forbid, when the far right agenda takes power in this country and start to limit Muslim presence in this country. And we have seen those voices coming louder and louder and more powerful in actions. You have seen what happened in the Epic Center in Dallas. If all of the audience here, or a majority of them from Dallas, that they know what happened there. Alhamdulillah, we've been able to avoid it, but we are gearing ourselves to some serious challenges in the days to come. And so financially, we could do more to for our member organizations. I do care about training to provide our Muslim community with some good training to enhance leadership, to enhance management, to enhance best practices in non-for-profit organizations, how to run a masajid, how to run non-for-profit organizations, how to utilize grants writing. We would like to do more on the youth, and I will touch on that one quickly, inshallah. I just, there are many things that we are doing some of that, and we can do more in the future once we are financially able to do that. And so we need, right now is to increase the membership, because it gives us at least the number that we can push our agenda with government agencies and other counter communities within. We want to reach out to the Latino communities, or we want to reach out to interfaith, or even if we want to reach out to other groups who are in support of Muslims, and immigrants in this country. So the major benefits, I would say, is that you bring unity, that you are under the umbrella, and you have, alhamdulillah, the benefit of all our organizations. We have a national leadership conferences. We have our National Muslim Advocacy Day on Capitol Hill that we lobby members of Congress. That we have, many other activities, and as I said, training and of these type of things will also benefit our member organizations. Now, what do? We have several signature projects, as well as major initiatives that we have taken that we do under the USCMO. One, of course, as I said, our first signature project was the National Muslim Advocacy Day. More than 700 people from across the country come to Washington, D.C. And when we open registration, of course, people register with their name and address. So through your address, we know who is your representative. And so what we do, we prepare your meeting with your representative during the Advocacy Day on Capitol Hill, where everybody comes to Washington, D.C. So we arrange those meetings for you. And so when you come there, you will be able to go ahead and meet with your representative in their offices. So your representative will see their constituent come into their office, and through the team and the committee we look into what would be the most important issues for the Muslim community to lobby for during this lobby day. And this is permissible. This is not like the lobbyists that we heard about it. This is a community-driven advocacy that we see other communities do there. You will be amazed when you go there. And I hope everyone in this, if you did not join the U.S. Council Muslim Organization Advocacy Day, to come this year, inshallah ta'ala, to see how this works. It's a beautiful experience. It is a beautiful environment. You feel empowered too. You feel truly empowered, and you will see other communities. The farmers, the Latinos, everything you can think of. You'll find them groups coming, and they are lobbying for their issues. This is permissible within the 501c3 legal formation of your organization. There's a percentage that you can do lobbying, and that is, basically it's activism. It is not the lobbying in the sense of the lobbyists do in Washington, D.C. with millions of dollars of their money to change legislation. This is called community, activism and lobbying that is permissible. So we can do this types of lobbying in a day or 2 days. That is okay. So we look at the issues that we need to bring to the attention of member of Congress. Some of the issues we have discussed, in the past, for instance, the no-fly list, the harassment of the Muslim communities at borders, and or those who are flying. We discuss Islamophobia. We talk about, for instance, extending legal status of refugees, like the Syrian one time, the Yemenis another time, those minorities who came through Iraqis during the Iraq War. For instance, they came in temporary visas, and so we tried to push for that. And sometimes we also about there was a bill to limit the public assistance, the link and the food stamps, for instance. This is a national issue, so we pushed for it. About the health care, the Obamacare, we pushed for that agenda. So we look at what is important for us to lobby for this year, the issues that either particular to our community or that is important for America and Americans in general. And of course, there are issues that are international in nature, like the war in Gaza, ceasefire, and stop sending arms to Israel, limiting funding to Israel. Those kind of things we do also lobby for. So the issues that we bring every year, there's a committee. We look at what is important for us to do this year, what is really concerning to the Muslim community. Also, what is the national issues that are out there, because they need to know that we do care about America as American citizens, as everybody else. And so that's what takes into. So this is one of our major. Alhamdulillah, it's great. And we start the day gathering in the auditorium of Congress. It's a beautiful gathering. We present, those issues that we're going to be doing. We do a crash training. However, we do training online prior to the advocacy day, several weeks before, and repeatedly. We do have what we call the captains meetings. Each state, each group, we have a captain who coordinate with the state delegation that coming from your state, so that they can share information, and we prepare, all kind of things. And so we do have a training prior to coming to the Capitol Day, and during the Capitol Day, the first hour of the day, we gather, we do the inauguration of the of the event, and then we do crash reminder of the training, what to do and how to do it, and then everybody goes to their meeting, and then the evening about 6 p.m. we come back together, all of us. And we usually invite members of Congress, and those friends, we give them awards of friendship or leadership, and kind of nice gathering, nice reception. And then the next day, we continue the full day in making those appointments and meetings with members of Congress. It is a beautiful atmosphere. It's a beautiful exercise, and to go and meet with members of Congress, the staffers, discuss with them those issues, get them to know you. And we have really made some good breakthrough with many members of Congress, to see Muslim community coming and talking. And we ended up with many interns working for members of Congress through these types of interactions and introductions of our young college students, graduates of students who are, energetic, and many of them, they actually bring them on their staff as interns, or some of them even full-time, so it has some benefit, alhamdulillah.
So, brother,
we also have the national leadership summits that I mentioned.
Can you hear me?
We bring everybody and we discuss different issues.
Can you hear me, brother Osama?
Your voice is very deep. Sometimes I really can't hear you well.
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Slightly better, but really your voice is deep. I tried to increase my
Yeah, we can hear you, brother Ajdi. Maybe there's an audio issue on brother Osama.
Well, I
so
hear you very well. The brother who just spoke, I hear you much better
brother
than.
Abu Ala has a question. Go ahead, ask the question, brother Abu
Yeah,
Ala.
Majdi, now I can hear you better now.
Okay. So brother Shaban has a question. The question is, do you actually? The question is, do you actually release or publish or lobby on the unified Muslim position?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
We do issue statements on major events. If you visit our website and you go to the news, and if you scroll down there, you see our the latest releases. And then you go to we have a tab on news, and you see each and every statement that we have published, on various issues. Oh yes, definitely. We do have a position that is in tune and aligned with the community at large. Position on those issues.
Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah khair. MashaAllah, you have a lot of benefits that's maybe I believe I heard of you, but I think maybe I'm ignorant of so many of what you've been doing. We mostly hear about care, taking care of the internal Muslim affairs, and represent them. But on the political issues, right? They're always asking us as Muslims in America to reach out to our representatives, right? In each state, and that's really I think it's not an effective way to do it. If we all depend on individuals to go out and reach out. So I'm thinking is that if you represent the majority of the Muslims in America, wouldn't your representation or representing the Muslims be unified, and you have I don't know how many hundreds of millions of Muslims under your charter? That would say we have Muslims are all the Muslims in America have objected or supported a certain bill, right?
Yes.
So do you really represent only the organizations that register under your council, or do you represent all the Muslims in general, whether they're part of those organizations or not?
Okay. Very good question. Very good question. Thank you. Brother Majdi, if you give me access, share screen, I do have a 3-minute video that talks about USCMO. Maybe this would give you a good background on what USCMO is all about in 3 minutes. And then I can expand on each subject, because you're right. I mean, who would talk to the, we do meet with like I go to the State Department and I take a delegation. We meet with the Deputy Assistant Secretary of State. We discuss about human rights. We discuss about democracy in the Muslim world. And we challenge them on their policies overseas, whether it is in Palestine, especially the attack on the Masjid al-Aqsa. We talk about Iraq, and we talk about Yemen, how they deserted the Yemeni American community when they tried to escape, and our government did not come to. Those are U.S. citizens, and we challenged them. We talked about Kosovo, late changes in there, about Sudan. We take a group of for instance, we took a group of Sudanese when for the State Department. We met with the U.S. aid at the time of Biden, and what they are doing to help Sudanese refugees and bringing aid. I mean, we do a lot. We go to the White House. If I have the access to share the screen, I can give you a glimpse of USCMO that probably can help shed a little bit of light, not much, but a little bit of light about who we are and what we do in a 3 minutes, if that's okay, brother.
We have 3 minutes left. Please, I give you the screen sharing. You can share the screen now.
Oh my God! Yeah, time is flying. Okay. Oh my God. So okay, let me quickly get this one here. Let me see.
Or you can just add the link, Brother Majdi, if you don't have the time.
Okay, I will send you the link for the video. Everybody can see. And let me just quickly, those questions Subhanallah, we go so quickly on time. We do have those kinds of national as well as international. We visited South Africa. We met with the president of South Africa and the foreign minister of South Africa. We thanked them for taking the case to the international court about the genocide in Gaza. On behalf of Muslim Americans, we thank them for taking that initiative. We did visit Turkey, and we thank Turkey for hosting 4 million Syrians in Turkey, as well as other groups from Libya, from Yemen, from Egypt, from Somalia. They hosted many of them in Turkey. They provided a scholarship to students from the Rohingya. So on behalf of Muslim American, we thank them because our community here, the Syrians want to thank them for helping the Syrians. The Somalis want to thank them for the Somalis. The Yemeni wants to thank them. So we took a delegation on behalf of the Muslim communities who their extended families been helped by the Turkish government. So we visit quite a bit with Turkey in particular. They are very open to the Muslim community. They offer many benefits for those who are visiting or passing through Turkey to stop by and visit in Turkey. And we meet with the ambassadors of foreign countries, especially during the Rohingya issue. We visit with the French ambassador, the German, the Swedish, the Denmark, of course, our State Department, as I said, the Malaysian, Indonesian. We visit all those ambassadors.
Brother Osama, do you, sorry to interrupt you, I really am very flattered by all this. Do you still suggest for Muslims, individual Muslims, to reach out to their state representatives? Or is
Absolutely.
that? Yeah.
Absolutely. After the Advocacy Day in Capitol Hill, we called in-district advocacy, meaning that we would like the people to always visit with their members of Congress in your state. Know who is your representative. Make sure that you take a delegation or invite them to have a town hall meetings. Bring the issues. Put the pressure on them, whether they like us or not, whether they support our agenda or not, whether they support our opponents or not. Bring them to your community if you can. Have a town hall meeting. Tell them, look, you represent us. You have an obligation to listen to your constituent, whether you agree with them or disagree. You represent this district. You have to listen to the district and bring the issue. Be prepared. Do some research.
Is that good, or would it be better to have a list of our statement and have say 1 million signature?
We actually
Sure. I tell you what, we send thousands of letters to members of Congress, not just members of Congress in the U.S. Congress, but also in every state. You have your own local, state, capital and representative state senator. We send probably about more than 10,000 letters to all those members of, to those representatives, federal and local, about the different issues. So yeah, we do reach out there.
Jazakallah khairan. We actually exceeded the time, but before we end, I would like to share the screen with the organizations. If everybody can see that this is the USMCO organization, which is the umbrella organization for all the Muslim organization. This is a mass website here, just for the record, the Muslim American Society. This is the Islamic Circle of North America, and this is the MANA page that Brother Osama spoke about. And this is CARE, Council on American Islamic Relation. And this is AMP, American Muslims for Palestine. And this is the Muslim Legal Fund of America. And this is MONA, Muslim Ummah of North America. And this is the Mosque Foundation of Chicago. And this is the Warathuddin Muhammad Islamic Center. And by having that, I think we have reached the conclusion of today's session. We are so pleased and blessed to have Brother Osama Jamal. We hope to see you again, inshallah, in our weekly session with the new Muslims and the existing Muslims, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalam.